Hello, it's Alexia from Head Trash here. Now, today I want to talk about mental fitness. So, what is mental fitness? This is a term that we hear talked about quite a bit, but what does it mean exactly? When I think about mental fitness, I think about the parallels with physical fitness. So, mental fitness, just like physical fitness, is all about keeping your mind healthy and strong. And just like you need to go to the gym, it takes effort and it takes dedication and consistency in order to maintain good mental health, just like you need to do that for good physical health, right? But for some reason, people are more likely to incorporate exercise and physical health into their daily lives than they are anything to do with mental fitness. And that's quite odd, I find. Because your mental health is so important. It's as important as your physical health. You could be in great shape, but if you feel rubbish, you have got depression and anxiety and you're having panic attacks, then you're out of balance, right? You're out of balance. So, I really want to bring mental health and put it back on the table, and mental fitness, and think about it in fitness terms, because a lot of the time when we talk about mental health, we hear it discussed and explored and talked about in negative ways, and the problems and depression and anxiety and all these subpar conditions. If we were to talk about that all the time in terms of physical health, we'd be talking about being overweight and having a dodgy knee and limping and sort of having no energy and being really flabby, and we'd just be constantly bleating on about all of that. But instead, what you mainly see content around and people talking about when we talk about physical health is being toned and fit and strong and all of this good stuff, and fitting in your favorite jeans, and it's all positive, and it's something that we want to work towards. We want to really be that physical fit version of ourselves, and so we want to go to the gym because we want to be fit. We want to have a good rating on our Fitbit trackers or our Apple Health watches or whatever it is, right? We're tracking it and we're doing all the things. But this same focus or the same way of looking at it, we're not doing the same when it comes to our mental health or our mental fitness, right? And so why is that? For me personally, when I think about why I wasn't doing that, it took something really horrid for me to start looking at my own mental fitness and emotional well-being, because these two things are very, very closely linked. And in order to improve your mental fitness and your emotional well-being, you need to step up and get to the healing table. You need to start healing your stuff, right? Because that's what moves the needle on both of those things, on emotional well-being and mental fitness. So, let me just quickly talk about how these two interrelate, or how their relationship with each other. And the way that I like to think about this is I love metaphors and analogies and all of that good stuff. And the one that comes to mind for me here is this water wheel. And if you think about like the water going through the water wheel, your emotional health is the water that's being, picked up and zipping around and being dumped to the other side, right? Whereas the water wheel itself is your mental fitness. It's your ability to kind of move this stuff and process it and move it through. Now, if your water wheel is really low in the ground and really heavy and really out of shape, then it's going to be picking up all the dredge and all the crap off the river floor, right? It's going to be going so slowly, and it's going to get stuck, and it's going to just wear down, isn't it? It's just going to really, it's just not going to function as well as it could if it was really well properly stuck up, like put in position and just whizzing through that lovely, clear, fresh water nicely. So, for a water wheel to work well, you need some decent water that's coming through, not clogged up with leaves and branches and all that kind of nonsense. You want it to be sort of good stuff. And equally, you want the water wheel to be nicely propped up. And that's how these two work together. You need both to be in good shape to have a really nicely functioning water wheel. Does that make sense to you? It makes total sense to me. So when we think about why, what mental fitness is in relation to emotional well-being, that's what I want to dive into in this video, because it really, the two come together. And I think a lot of focus when people are talking about mental health and healing, that a lot of that focus automatically goes towards the emotional aspect of that. and therefore wanting to move away from things like depression or anxiety or stress. But there's less focus on the mental fitness piece. And so that's what I want to do here, and shine a light on that, but also help you to better understand what is that exactly, right? So here is my approach, or the way that I look at mental fitness. So for me, it's this idea of the fitness and flexibility of your mind. Just like physical fitness is with your body, this is about the fitness and the flexibility of your mind. It's your ability to respond quickly and flexibly to the world around you. So, for me, mental fitness is things like it's being productive and taking action. It's an ability to be decisive and make decisions. You're responding to what's going on, and then you make a decision and you're moving forward. It's thinking clearly so that you can make those decisions, so you can weigh up what's going on. You can ascertain what's going on in your environment, see what's going on clearly without any fears and inner chatter getting in the way and muddying the water. And you can see what needs to happen and then make the decision, and not second guess yourself and worry that you're going to make the wrong decision and all your fears pile in at that decision-making stage. You're able to make the decision. And then once you've made the decision, you act on it. You can act on it immediately, or in good time. So you're not procrastinating. You're not stuck in indecisiveness. You're not kind of frozen in indecision. It's this ability to change tack and pivot depending on what is going on around you. Just as, with physical fitness, your ability to kind of change direction, not dodge bullets, because we're not dodging bullets, are we? But dodging, let's say a cyclist is coming down the pavement and you're able to just quickly jump out the way. It's that ability for you to bounce about, use your body, use your mind, and respond quickly, to be able to do that, not be sluggish and oh, hang on, you're going too fast, I can't keep up, slow down, there's too much going on, I can't deal with all this. That's not somebody who's got mental clarity, right? So what else is mental fitness? It's having decent levels of mental energy. So somebody with low mental fitness will be like, I've got to have my coffee in the morning and I can't do anything without my coffee. That's somebody with low mental energy. Somebody that's got good levels of mental fitness is they wake up and they're like, yay, let's go, I'm going to eat today for breakfast, it's all mine, I'm going to just rock this day. That's somebody with that kind of high level of mental fitness. But it's also, when you think about the tasks that you're doing, it's being able to focus on the tasks that you're doing and not get easily distracted. If you can sit down and do your task, whether you want to sit down and focus for half an hour or an hour, whatever it is, or are you somebody that's like, oh, check my phone, la 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 la, oh look, that's shiny thing, right, look at that. And you sat down an hour to do your thing and you still haven't really moved forward because your mind hasn't got a grip on the thing that you're trying to focus on. It's floating, it's getting carried away with whatever thoughts are piling in your head, and you get distracted and things come in and you're just flaky in the mind, right? So it's this mental fitness is being able to focus on the tasks that you've got at hand, on being able to get the thing done and stick with it till you finish, and not kind of give up halfway through and think, oh, I'm going to have coffee now because I'm tired and I can't think, this is taxing me too much. It's that kind of thing. It's also an ability to get things done with minimum faff and procrastination. You can kind of just get on with it rather than taking forever, because there's all this just flaky kind of fussing and like, if I haven't got everything lined up ready, if it's not fully lined up, if everything doesn't measure up, if it's all of these are just kind of it's not excuses, they're just distractions in the mind that are preventing you from focusing, right? So this ability to kind of keep focus and not get distracted is also mental fitness. So when you look at all this, like that list I've just shared with you, you can kind of see how closely linked mental fitness is to emotional well-being. Because if you're full of fear, if you've got loads of fears, like, well, what if I make the wrong decision? What if I get it wrong? What if I mess it up? What if I what if I don't feel ready for this? I don't feel ready. How can I step forward and make this decision? I don't feel ready. I need to get ready. And what does ready look like? Well, I can't hand it to so-and-so because they might get it wrong. And no, I'm going to do it all myself. So I'm going to hold on to control of this because I need to do it. This is what gets in the way of people getting stuff done, right? because there are all these fears that step in and create this sabotage, this self-sabotaging behavior, this control issue, this micromanaging. All of that is head trash. All that is emotional stuff, which has got fear at the root, right? So when you think about how they play together, these two, if you were to start healing, and when you start addressing some of the fears that are, your worries about getting things wrong and things being messed up, these are things that these are day-to-day fears that be showing up in all sorts of ways in your life, but they massively impact your mental fitness levels as well. So when you start working on your fears and healing your fears, you will notice a real shift in your mental fitness, and you'll notice your ability to think more clearly, be more decisive, take action without procrastinating, without sabotaging, without messing up your own success, right? And that's how those two come together. So, this is when I just want to think about what happened with me what got me to the healing table was my own emotional ills, So I had so many fears, I had so many anxieties that is what I needed to focus on at the beginning, because that was the stuff that was just getting in my way. And the more that I worked on all of that, then without me really focusing on mental fitness, it just started improving. I was able to get more done. I was more productive, more efficient. I was able to think more clearly. I was more creative. All of this came through as a result of that emotional healing work that I did. But sometimes you can take the lead with mental fitness, and you can go, hang on a minute, why am I not productive? Why am I micromanaging? Why am I writing these ridiculous to-do lists that go on forever and then I don't do anything on the list? What's going on with my productivity? Why am I sabotaging like this? Why can I never finish a task? Why do I love starting loads of stuff but never finish them? Like, you can take a look at your mental fitness and your productivity and your ability to focus, or the reason why you're getting distracted, and you can start addressing that directly. And as you start kind of digging some of that stuff, you'll realize that there are patterns at play that are actually affecting your emotional health as well. And so it really enables you to take a different route to your emotional well-being. You can either tackle emotional well-being head on, or you could take the side route and go in through mental fitness, right? Or you can do the vice versa, sort of either sort of tackle mental fitness head on or take the side route through emotional well-being, right? But they both, working on them they'll help each other up, right? They help each other. So why is it important then to have good levels of mental fitness? Well, I don't know. I mean, do I need to say this? But a healthy mind does lead to a happier life. And so, I want you to be happy, right? This is why I do what I do, because I want to help you to heal so that you can experience the happiness, the contentment, the inner peace, live the life that you want, or the business that you want, the work that you love. All of those things come from being able to focus and get stuff done and not be hemmed in by fear. So, having a happy life is a really, do you need another reason, really? But also when you think about your mental health and you think about your mental fitness, let me go back to the water wheel metaphor. And, it's your ability to process stuff. So when you've got a good level of mental fitness, you're more able to easily spot when there's a rogue emotion thing getting in the way and causing you problems. So, I was really very much aware of this during my pregnancy work and on my own pregnancy and birth journey, is that when you've addressed a lot of the fears and a lot of the anxieties, then when you have a good level of mental fitness, which means you're more able to spot some of the fears jumping in that maybe you weren't expecting. And then you can go, oh, hang on a minute, that's a fear. Hang on, that doesn't belong here. That's going to really mess things up. I'm going to deal with this and then chuck it. Right, we're going to deal with that, clear it, get it out the way so we can get back to having a nicely flowing system again. And that's what I talk about when I mean about responding and reacting to your environment and being able to pivot and be flexible. It's that ability to go, oh, look, over here, there's something going on. I've got the self-awareness, a spot that I've got this fear that's just come in. And I'm going to do it without hesitating, because I don't faff now because I've got mental fitness. I can go and clear it, kick it out the way and get back to what I was trying to do. that's the pivoting, that's the flexible responding that I'm talking about. And so it enables you, once you start building up a level of good mental fitness, you're able to then support your emotional health because you're much better able to manage it. The tool that you've got at your disposal, your mind, is just working really well and can deal with stuff like that. Whereas when you have low mental fitness and you're struggling with emotional dis-ease and anxiety and things like that, the idea of kind of working through a healing list and doing some of the healing work or the inner work, you're like, oh, and you haven't got that mental energy to do it. It all feels so exhausting. It feels overwhelming. You find lots of excuses and fears that get in the way from you being able to do it. So it really does benefit you to kind of think about both of these things together and how one can support the other depending on which one you need more help with or that you think is going to benefit you on your healing journey. So let me share some easy ways for you to boost your mental fitness. I've got a few to share with you, so you might want to write some of these down. And there's just a few to get you started right. So the number one on the list is obviously clearing your head trash regularly. I mean, I know I'm predictable, okay, but it's true and it works. So why would I not put this right at the top of the list? But keeping on top of your head trash clear out practice is just going to sort you out, and it's going to stop things getting out of control. Just like going to the gym, right? If you kind of wait to decide to go to the gym or start running or whatever exercise thing you're going to try, if you wait until you're massively overweight before you do it, it's just going to be so hard. Whereas if you just keep on top of it all the time and make it part of your life, go out for a 15-minute walk every day, then you're less likely to get to that place of obeseness, which means you now suddenly got this real big thing that you've got to sort out that feels really difficult to tackle. Little bit bite-sized chunks, and having a regular head trash clear out practice, which might mean just doing one clearance a week. You might decide that one week you're going to do 3 or 4 because you've got some stuff going on, but you're always checking in, you're always looking at it. You maybe put some time aside in your diary, go, right, what am I going to clear this week? Because believe me, we've always got stuff to clear. This healing journey doesn't really end. It does for some, but they're the ones that have really been committed to that and done a boatload of it. Most of us haven't had that level of commitment that we've put behind this practice. So depending on where you are, you'll know where you are. I don't need to tell you where you are on this. You know where you are. Now, if you want to add head trash clearance as a regular practice, I've created loads of stuff to help you with this. So, whether it's joining my clearance club where there's ready-made mantras on any life theme that you want, where you can just join, log in, get the thing you want, do it, log out, and there you've done it. You've done your 15, 20 minutes and you've done that week's that dose, as it were. I've tried to make this as easy as possible for you so you can keep on top of your mental fitness and emotional well-being. So the next one that I want to share with you is being mindful. Now, mindfulness is just it's about being self-aware. It's about being conscious. So when you're behaving, when you're around other people, when you're in an environment, when you're cooking, be aware, be present with what you're doing, and enjoy that moment. When you're with somebody, listen to them, be part of that conversation, be present. You're more likely to notice any emotions coming in, any fears coming in when you're being present, and you're more likely to be having a level of self-awareness about that. But doing that means that the minute you start raising your self-awareness, you're then in a much better position to move forward onto doing some healing work, because you've got that awareness around you. But just being mindful can really help you to start having a higher level of mental fitness. Another thing that you can do is take time really to connect with others and to, connection with people in real life where you get to eyeball them or touch them or smell coffee together. I'm not talking about digital and chatting and all the digital stuff, but real human connection is just so enriching in so many ways. And so to really take the time to seek out those connections, nurture those connections, and have rich relationships, because that kind of thing can really help you on an emotional health as well as mental fitness. Okay. Now, sleep. This is the next one. Sleep. I mean, I know we all know we've got to get more sleep. And so that, people say 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever that amount is. just make sure that you're getting enough sleep, because when you have not had enough sleep, you will not have that mental energy. You will feel tired and groggy, and it will be really hard for you to just, go through your day without snapping and biting people's heads off. And the thing is when you've got a low level of mental energy and a low level of emotional health, then when you lack sleep, the day is just incredibly hard. You might burst into tears for no reason. You'll snap at people, you get easily triggered because you've got low reserves. You don't have that resilience to enable you to handle having slept badly. Whereas when you've got a higher level of mental fitness, you can deal with nights where you've had no sleep. And you might not be able to deal with more than one or two of those nights, but after one night, you can kind of deal with it. As long as you can catch up maybe in the day, after a couple of days, you can get yourself back on track. But sleep is just so important for us to maintain our emotional health and our mental fitness. It's just such a crucial role. So make sure you've got enough sleep. Put a target in your phone to make sure you're in bed at a certain time, that you're not looking at screens within an hour before turning the light off, so you haven't got anything that's getting in the way of you getting good quality sleep. And then the final one I want to share with you is about self-care. And so this is about taking time to do things that make you feel good. Putting yourself first, not feeling guilty that you're doing that, prioritizing yourself. And self-care looks different to different people. I mean, you get some people think it's a glass of wine in a bath. I kind of don't feel like that's necessarily a good dose of self-care for me personally. But so for me, self-care, and it's expected, right? But for me, it's about doing a quick clearance, because I think, well, that's really going to move the needle. That's showing me how much I love me, because I want myself to be on fighting form. I want to feel great. I want to feel fabulous. And that is the best way, the fastest way for me to feel great. A glass of wine in a bath just doesn't do that for me. Also, alcohol's not great for you, right? So that's not really going to really move the needle. It might sort of tick some cravings and needs that you have within you, but does it really satisfy you on a deep level? So it's really finding things that are really going to nurture you, walking in nature, spending time with your pets, your kids, your parent, family, friends, just being in an environment that's nurturing, that makes you feel like life's great. Seek out those experiences, reward yourself if you've had a really tough day at work, or you've just overcome something difficult, or you've just had a great result with something. Treat yourself, reward yourself, look after yourself. Think about yourself as if you had a child that had just succeeded and had a great thing, you'd take them out for ice cream, you would do something cool with them, and they'd be like, yay. Do that for yourself. Think of yourself in that way, and look after yourself and nurture yourself. Okay, so those are the ways that I think that you can, easy ways for you to boost your mental fitness. And I hope that this video has helped you to get a little better understanding around what mental fitness is and some easy ways that you can improve it. So I just want you to sort of remember that really mental fitness is just like physical fitness. And it's important to focus and put time aside in your life to improve that or maintain it, as well as it is to work on your physical fitness as well. And by doing that, by prioritizing your mental fitness and your emotional health, your mind will thank you. It will reward you with being able to do great things and enabling you to really improve your life and start living the life that you want and desire, living your dream life. Because why not? Why the hell not? Okay. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.